I'm one of the assistant professors with the hospitality program here at Prince George's Community College. I've been with the program for maybe four, almost 5 years, but on a full-time capacity about a year and now a year and a half because I'm finishing my third semester. So it's been really great, and I can just share this experience has just broadened my horizons. I've had 20 years in the hospitality industry, so I can put an event together like that. I can talk food and beverage and get you hungry by the end of the day. But you know, I think teaching just brought me to a whole other avenue or experience or endeavor, however word you want to describe it. It's been just a wonderful breakthrough for me. And so this was just a real help to how I can take the professional aspects of my career and bring it into an educational component. So, thank you. So So I really wanted to use my showcase to really highlight 4 elements that I have really embraced and dived into. I had an aha moment. I think I was singing when this was being introduced to me, and did I sing? I did sing. Oh, yeah, I did. I sang because, you know, I am one to keep everything. I have piles of papers. I have notebooks, journals that I like to keep, and, you know, I'm one to write my thoughts down, and it just leads to a lot of, eventually turns to clutter, okay? I don't know if that's what it turns to me. So Evernote was just a way of me being able to organize my thoughts. To emails that I wanted to keep, you know, that I was like, oh, I might want to reference that later. Those who choose to do that with their email system sometimes can get a little overwhelming and unorganized. So Evernote kind of helped me with that process. It was also a way for me to take notes of various events through my networking and other training that it now allows me to implement into my classroom programs. YouTube, gosh, who would have known? I just thought that YouTube was just something that people just didn't have time, and they thought that they would just videotape every aspect of their life and put it there for people to see. Well, now I can appreciate it because they put it out there, and now I see there's elements that I can use in my training and a little bit more professional. It's not just the little girls dancing to, you know, beat it. At least that's what I see in my house sometimes. All right. Quizlet, too, was a great element that I was able to bring into my classroom as a way for students to recap on terms and keywords that we needed to use and understand as we related to the contents of hotel operations, food service operations, and hospitality as a whole. But Blackboard, oh my gosh, that is such a great tool that I know I underutilized it as an adjunct. And now that I'm here on a full-time basis, I realize all that it's capable of doing. As well as reduce the clutter on my desk and in my bag and everything else. Just the ability to be able to track grades, be able to communicate with my fellow students, be able to recap for presentations. It's phenomenal. So I first want to show YouTube. Through the iPad training, we were introduced to iMovies. And there was a little trailer element that we could add and create a video or a trailer movie. And I did it to introduce my food service operations class. So it's just... actually, in my orientation for first day, when we review the syllabus, so I essentially end the class as we go through all the rules and regulations and policies and your behavior and expectations from the class. I finished it off with this just to kind of spice them up and say, overall, we've got things that we have to follow in order to see success, but this is going to be a fun class, and we're going to hit every element possible as it relates to food and beverage. So. In catering and banquet operations, I've implemented Quizlet. We talk from all aspects of catering, and essentially we really focus on owning your own business and what that involves. And from there, we talk about, mission statements, understanding what your vision is, breaking down objectives. We talk about menus and how the menu has an impact to drawing business, targeting your clients, where your catering business, if you choose to be off-premise, where is it most suited in various facilities. If you choose to go as an on-premise caterer, who are the clients that you can pursue and be successful in. But really, in order for you to know what the business you have, so that you can make sure you target the right people, you need to really understand all the terms that are related to the catering business. I've created flashcards, which is good because it'll give them the term, then you flip it, gives them definitions. It gives them quizzes, which is a nice little element to see if they're understanding the terms. Right out of Quizlet, I can print out a test or a quiz and surprise them with it. Or even plan for it. But I always say it's not really a surprise because if you're using the tools that I've provided you, this should be very easy for you because it's word for word. I'm not twisting it. It's everything that I've defined from the very beginning. And I also explain to them by understanding the terms, it allows you to understand the content. So we have a lot of fun with that. Okay? But it's great here. So as I mentioned, this is actually, I do it for most of my classes. I apologize, I've actually brought up the hospitality one, not the catering one. But here, I've got all the terms here. It allows them to define what is back of the house and not really looking at it as a position of where you work, but your interaction with the customer. As back of the house, you don't have direct contact with the customer. You still have an impact to its service and their expectations and having a satisfied experience, but your role is back of the house and how that differs from front of the house. So it's just another fun way of being able to present.
Are they responding to this while you're giving it, or is this an oral exchange?
We do a combination of both.
Okay.
I'm flipping the classroom because this is an opportunity for them to use it outside of the classroom. So on that day one, I'm going up and letting them know what Quizlet is, encouraging them to join, because I'll put in all their emails, so they've received an email from me that's inviting them, and then asking them to either download it on their phone or on their computer or both.
Okay.
So the next tool, as I've already given its praises, is Evernote. And I just can't say enough about this lovely elephant here. One thing is that you have multiple devices that I can put it on. So I have access to it on my desktop, my cell phone, my Droid tablet too as well, because I still have that too as well as my iPad, which again just allows me to work with it at all times as long as I can get reception and internet. And that's one reason why I like it with my phone, because that I have unlimited, so I can take notes. And then by taking notes, it allows me to save it as well as share it. And I can also use it to create an agenda list for myself. I'll give credit to Barbara, who, when she sat through one of my classes, she asked me how was I keeping track of my communications to the students. And what I was doing is I was highlighting my textbook, and I was just using the highlights to kind of help me recall what I needed to talk about. And she was like, well, why don't you just make a list? But my thought was like, I didn't want to have to worry about a piece of paper. And then she reminded me of Evernote. And so now I have, not only do I have a list, I don't have to worry about keeping the paper because I now have it day to day. So here, it allows me to keep track of my notes as I'm giving my presentation and lecturing in class. Because I like to be available. I like to have my hands open. Not that I can hug everybody, but I feel like, hey, we're all in the classroom, we're all one, and I like to be free. So I don't necessarily want to be confined, so I can always pick up the tablet and still talk and know where I am without going back and forth. But Blackboard has definitely been a great source for me in all of my classes too as well. I utilize all the tabs from the announcement, especially when I realize I can email it, but then it can also save on the announcement. So it's kind of like, well, if you don't have your email, which I strongly encourage the students to do, to have their information route to their email, then if you don't do that, I encourage you to get on Blackboard at least once a day just to see what new announcements may pop up. But it allows me to put it in 2 different locations all in one swoop. So, with that being said, you know, there are lots of avenues that have helped me as far as my teaching and instructing abilities here at Prince George's Community College. I named 4 as a few, but others. Dropbox has been phenomenal for me. I can work from home. I can drop it right in Dropbox and then be able to pick it up in my office, my tablet, my Droid, all in the same place. You know, I am a huge PowerPoint fan. I'm diving into the Prezi. I'm not quite there yet, but I do see the wow in that. So I'll work on that. The Google, internet search, all of it. CourseSmart, I do my textbooks, are all on my tablet, my iPod, my phone, all right there and accessible that I can read textbooks, I can reference notes, and I don't have to carry them all around, which can get kind of heavy. So, and I actually encourage my students to purchase their books through CourseSmart too.